Hello everyone, and welcome to 1v1 with Boss Rush Games. I'm your host, Celeste Roberts of Nintendo Powblock and Another Zelda Podcast. Today I have the pleasure of interviewing Shane Kelley, a contributing writer for Another Zelda Podcast, a video game enthusiast, and a writer.
Hello everyone.
What's going on, Shane?
Oh, the usual day-to-day work and play. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. I'm very excited that it's Thursday because tomorrow's Friday.
That's all a good thing. That's like Monday when you're excited for Tuesday because you're excited that Friday will come 3 days after Tuesday and then it's the weekend. So
I really like your logic right there because it puts me in a better mood. I usually kind of dislike Tuesdays because they just feel like an extra obstacle to the weekend.
Yeah.
Well, I love your setup. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, Shane has an awesome video game collection that I've seen in our Another Zelda Podcast meetings. And I think he won that Zelda Amigurumi back, huh?
Yes. Yep, up there, yeah. Yeah, I won that maybe a month ago. I love it. It's really tall. It's about that tall, very heavy, very well made. Recommend it if anybody wants that. That's I don't know, it's beautiful. My daughter loves it.
Very beautiful. So you're someone I would want to buy my lottery tickets because you have a lot of luck.
I have decent luck. It's funny because one of my brothers uses Twitter mainly just to try to win things. So I'll always take him in it, and probably at least once a month, maybe every other month, I'll win something. I'll screenshot it. I'll send it to him. I said, "How come you didn't win this one? I won this one." It's a running joke because I don't think he's ever won anything.
So you're just absorbing all the luck for both of you.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's just a luck of the draw right there. Sometimes you're not given the right hand of cards, and then sometimes you are.
Yes, I'd be good at poker.
Yes. Well, like I mentioned, Shane is with Another Zelda Podcast, and that's how I know Shane. We have been collaborating with that, since the beginning of 2019?
Yeah, so it'd be almost 2 years. So.
Yeah. So how did you find out about Another Zelda Podcast?
Well, it's weird. I was just on Twitter, and someone actually friended me from the podcast. And so I added, and I think a couple days later, I just decided I'd listen to the podcast. And after about, 5 episodes, I really enjoyed it. So I started, responding. And I think maybe a month or two after that, they had asked me if I would like to write for the Another Zelda podcast. So I'm like, of course. I love Zelda. I love writing. So made sense.
Yes, Shane has some really good articles on the website. He has some really good thoughts that I think are brilliant. Things I never would have thought of, or different theories and just different ideas for how the game could be. In fact, it's going to be published before this episode comes out, but his most recent one is a really cool look at a what-if scenario regarding Breath of the Wild.
I believe it'll come out next week. So it'll be the 6th, Tuesday, I believe.
Yes. I have it set on the website, ready to publish.
Excellent. And I think I entitled it The Legend of Zelda Deep Sleep Deity, a What-If Scenario. So.
Yeah, it's really good. I think to this day, my favorite one, and I think your article that has the most views, is your one about Link's earrings.
Yes. I'm trying to remember what that's called. It's like
like a sign of servitude, or
that's
like that.
Something about sign of servitude. Rite of passage, or symbol of servitude.
Yes,
that's the title of it. So
yes, it's
I really enjoyed digging into that, and I like to do a lot of history type things. Mm-hmm. I used to do history papers a lot. I loved history class. So when you can pull research and then put it in with something you enjoy is really cool. Just the fact that um, I don't know, I really like. I used to work in a library, so I like to get all of that different data from different areas, and I also do data collection in real life. So it's like you pull all these things together and make something really unique, and that's what I like to do with my articles. I just like to make them somewhat unique. When we do the podcast, I kind of like to think of something out of the box that maybe you don't see on YouTube or you don't actually read, and so you kind of pull from those different things, and something usually unique and awesome happens. So
Yeah, and Zelda, I think, is so ripe for that. It's such a beautiful series.
oh yes, absolutely, my favorite series. I'm
Yes. Shane has also done a few podcast episodes with Another Zelda Podcast. You want to
I
tell
think
about everybody what they are, if you
I think
remember?
season 2, episode 7 is favorite ways to regain hearts. It's basically
Mm-hmm.
David talking about different ways and unique ways, basically, on how to replenish your health within the Zelda games. Um, that one, I met David in Milwaukee, and we met at a coffee shop, and we recorded that episode. And it was a great way to meet David, and great way to introduce me into podcasting. So the other episode is season 3, episode 3, and that's non-canonical links. In, like Soul Calibur 2, of course, we
Mm-hmm.
discussed the different series that he appears in, or you can play as Link. That one was really exciting as well. We did that in here. We crammed in this room, and but it was awesome. It was a great experience, and good to see David up here at my house and hang out afterwards. So
That is awesome. I know you were the last one he got to meet before the the threats of 2020 fell
yeah,
upon us. And we all of us contributed to the Zelda quiz episode, which was a
yes,
lot of fun. I really enjoyed
that
that
was
one.
very fun. I
Yeah.
learned I know little.
Yeah, I definitely realized I need to play the games again.
Yeah,
Because it's
it's
so easy
it's
to
it's
forget.
uh it's interesting because you play them so often, or maybe you haven't, but you remember just little details here and there, and then it kind of just meshes together, and point A to point B now comes point A to point C, and you didn't even remember point B. So that's kind of how it was for me when I was doing that quiz. I'm like, I don't remember where or why I was doing this. So
Yeah. It's like whenever you can't think of someone's name and then you're lying in bed and suddenly, oh, that's Jared.
yeah. Oh, yeah, Gary.
I completely blanked on him. Well, so you did write about your first Zelda experience. So would you like to tell listeners about what got you into Zelda and what keeps you hooked on this series?
Hmm. Um, well, I think most of the readers and anybody listening to Another Zelda podcast know that my first Zelda, of course, was Zelda 2: Adventure of Link, and let's just say that game did not hook me on the Legend of Zelda series. I to this day still have yet to get past into it, maybe even an hour into it. I have to keep trying, but man, I can't get into that one. What really pulled me in was I borrowed Link to the Past on my Super Nintendo from my uncle when I was younger, and me and I've got 4 brothers and a sister, all younger than me, and most of my brothers, we'd all play. Um, we someone would play, we'd watch, and we'd switch, and we were there for the whole thing, but we would keep playing, and that game really hooked me. I know it's not like David's favorite game. He had to play that later, but for me, that was a great game. That one pulled me in, and then I think Ocarina of Time. It is my favorite game, and that one for sure solidified that it was my favorite series. So
It's yeah, that one is just the music, the storytelling. It it's probably one of the best
yes,
N64 games.
music, storytelling, gameplay. It's like a Triforce right there, and that Triforce is
Yes.
my favorite. It's just it's magical. I like Breath of the Wild, but I really did miss the dungeons, getting the items in every dungeon. But I did like the open world aspect of Breath of the Wild. So
So do you think for Breath of the Wild 2 there's a chance we'll see a combination of open world and classic Zelda
I
dungeon
I
levels?
do. Yes, I know they're going to keep most of what was good in that game, and that was pretty much probably 99% of it. But that 1% they really need to improve on, I think, is the the dungeon aspect. I like the shrines, but it just it would have been nice to have alternate weapons as you went on that helped you progress. Maybe past the mainland. If they had the DLC and you got something else and you could go farther or something like that. But um, there's plenty of improvement that they can do in Breath of the Wild 2. And just with the trailer we've seen so far, I think it's going to be very gritty, very good. So,
Yeah, and you have some really good deep dives into what you would like to see in Breath of the Wild
yes,
too. Which,
yes.
which
I
so I
can't wait
mean,
for readers to read that. I enjoyed writing it, and it actually evolved into something more than I thought it would. I just had the main idea, and I just I'd go home from work, and I'd think of something, and then on my break at work I'd be like, maybe I should type something up quick. So I'd type up a little piece and add it to my Word doc, and I'm like, okay, and then I'd do the same thing. I'd go home again, or I'd send it to my email, and I'd write it on the weekend, and it expanded so much, and I think people are going to enjoy that.
yeah, it was really enjoyable to read, and you're very thorough. Like I could envision what you were describing, and I felt like I was replaying Breath of the Wild with all of these extras in it. And of course, we want people to read it, but would you like to give like a little sneak peek, little
Sure.
synopsis?
Basically, the three mazes from the game I thought would be really interesting if you could go further within those mazes. And within the maze, there are pieces of the Triforce. Now, traditionally, they had 8 pieces broken, but I figured, you got 3 mazes, have one whole Triforce piece in each maze, and you would fight. Um, Bosses from the past and bosses that are um, within Breath of the Wild that I kind of combined. As you know, I did one with the big hole in the ground in the Yiga area, um,
Yeah, Master
incorporate,
Koga.
yeah, incorporating the Master Cycle, and uh, just there's a lot of um, cool hints from the Breath of the Wild, plus ideas from the past that I pulled together.
It's really cool. I That game is so rich.
Yeah.
So did you complete all of the side quests?
Um, I want to say I've done pretty much most of them. I, of course, did not collect the 900 Korok seeds. No one has time for that. Um, and if you do, there are other games out there. But yeah, it's that one was the main one I didn't do. I think I gave up on getting, was it the big horse in the valley? I don't know if that was Ganondorf's horse or
Oh,
was,
the black horse with the red mane.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm,
I After a while, I don't think at that point I had enough stamina,
mm-hmm.
and I'm like, no, I'm gonna go do something else. So I think those two were the ones that I can remember that I didn't do. So
Yeah, I think I have Trial of the Sword left.
okay,
I think it reminds me. I played a little bit of it, and then I got scared. I got intimidated. It reminds me a little bit of Eventide Island.
Yes, I love
Yeah,
that.
that is really cool. That was a really cool idea. And what is your opinion of these categorized side quests in a Zelda game? Were you excited to have that as a way, like extras in addition to the main story? Is it something you feel Zelda doesn't need? What do you think?
Well, I think with a big world like that, you need those kind of things. Um, yeah, the main quest was great. Um, Ending was a little lackluster, but I thought all of that extra stuff was not only needed, but it was great to do and incorporate because it breaks up um, the main quest so that you it pulls you away from the main trail so you can go explore, and that's kind of what I like about it. And I didn't necessarily have to, you know, go to point A to point B. I could go to point A and all the way through Z if I wanted to before I got to that. And I don't know. I commend them for putting those in there, and just it really deepens the game and enriches what the player's experiences. So, and I really enjoyed that they put in that the graph with the lines where you walk, because it's really interesting to see, and it also you can double back and say, okay, I don't think I've explored this area. I'm just going to go over there. You can see where you were and you weren't. So.
Yeah, that's my favorite addition to the game because it really helped me navigate Hyrule a lot easier instead of, oh, I've been here about 1,000 times, but I haven't been to this section of Gerudo Desert. So, so out of all the Zelda series, is there a certain place that you love the most out of all the games? Is there a place that just sticks out to you the most?
Um, I always loved Temple of Time and Ocarina of Time. Just
Mhm.
the you walk in and uh, just the music. It feels holy, like so
Mhm.
you're gonna be powered up because you went there, and something unique's gonna happen. And of course, that's the whole story is that temple. And it was great to see in Breath of the Wild too, though it was in ruins. But I really enjoy that area. So.
It's beautiful, especially like right outside the Temple of Time with
Mhm.
the it looks like there's a little pond of some kind. There's maybe some benches,
Mhm.
some greenery.
Yeah.
It looks so peaceful. It looks like a sanctuary. I want to go there if I'm in trouble.
The contrast too, I like when you go into the future 7 years and how it's brown and dark, and it
Yes.
just that's interesting too. And um, I don't know, it kind of gave me the thought of the when you're younger and you go and see it, it's like someone who can see full spectrum color, and
Hmm.
then someone who's like my dad is colorblind. I just imagined him seeing it as this. It's kind of weird, but that's what I pictured it is. This is what he would see, um, just dull colors like that. So
That is a cool outlook, kind of like something's missing
yeah,
in a way. Yeah. And the Temple of Time, it were you also a little heartbroken to see it in ruins in Breath of the Wild?
oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, I got to play it at E3, and when we when I got to play, that was like one of the first places I went was that temple, and I saw it, and I'm like, oh wow, this is it's beautiful, but it's depressing, and it's like you're the last person on Earth type of thing. You see it, and you're like, well, this is ages past, and um, but of course you meet other people, NPCs in the game, but it just you had that lonely feeling when you went
Mhm.
there. So
It's a little jarring because here's a place that's supposed to be a sanctuary, it's supposed to be full of holiness, like you're saying, and it's been destroyed. It's the whole thing. It just gives this such a distraught
yes,
feeling as you're exploring. And but soon there's some hope in the game if you guys
Yeah,
haven't played it. But
I hope you guys have. It's good.
I hope so too, because we're giving a lot of spoilers. But Shane, I know I've heard your 2016 E3 experience, but I would love for you to share it with listeners if they or don't follow you on Twitter and they're not aware of
Yeah.
it. Would you like
Um,
to regale us with that?
sure. So basically back. This kind of is where the origins is. I joined Twitter in 2012, and I kind of didn't know what was going on. So in 2014, I decided that I was going to learn how to use it. So learned how to use it. I was befriended by a guy named Rick, and Rick had his own site that you could write for, and so it was called Nerdy Edge, and I started writing for it. And he soon after, I believe, went to Warhorse Studios, who made Kingdom Come Deliverance. He was their PR manager, and so someone else took over, and it became like Nerdy or Nerdnalist or something like that was the name. And slowly, I kind of drifted away from it, and I got noticed by Nintendo Enthusiast, and I wrote for them for a little bit. And then Rick reached out to me because I really wanted to go to E3, and I just never had the chance. So in early 2016, he asked me if I would like to go. He could get me in. So me and my wife saved up for it. We got tickets, and then I also started writing for Indie Watch. And so when I was there, I kind of did met with people there and wrote about their games. There usually was mobile games or 3DS games. But yeah, we got there, and it was kind of depressing because we went to Universal Studios, and we were having a good time. And then Rick called me and he said the tickets fell through. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I was just like, I paid for a week, to come here, and I was sitting there, and I'm like, I don't want to be down here, but man, I'm very depressed. And I think that was on a Saturday. So Sunday, we actually stood in line for the mic. There was like a Microsoft event at some mall, and we ended up. It was weird. I paid for new tickets. We found from someone, and I got new tickets for. It was like an extra $50. So I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll buy that. And then we ended up winning tickets, free passes through Microsoft's conference, and it was kind of weird. I got me and my wife actually won these controllers, custom controllers, through the Microsoft conference because
Those
we
are
won.
pretty.
Yeah, so it's got my Still Saying Shane name on here, and my wife has Platinum Sushi was our Xbox name. So yeah, we got those, and we got tickets, so we had double tickets. So luck right there, but I already paid for the other one, so I couldn't get the money back. But who cares? I'm there. So yeah, then we got to explore for 3 days on the floor. I did not go to the Zelda thing day one. We came in. There's two doors. We came in the door with like Square Enix and Bethesda, and some of the, like, I think Ubisoft was there, and some of those bigger ones like that. But we go in there and we're just getting free stuff. So I'm like, well, we might as well stay here. I know the Zelda thing's going to be packed. So we ended up going the second day there, and we stood in line, and we didn't think we were going to get in line because they kind of closed off the line. And I think as we were walking down there, they opened the line. I'm like, okay, we're getting in line. And we got in line, and then Charles Marinette was there, the voice of Mario. So we took a picture with him, and he was doing his voices. And, we stood in line, and it was the coolest thing. You see the Sheikah symbol, you go through the cave. They have you sit in these like marshmallow-shaped chairs, and they pump in smells in the room, and they've got a fan blowing, and it smells like um, flowers from a meadow, and you see Link come up onto that plateau in the grass, and it just smells so good. And it kind of was a whole like 4D experience watching this new trailer. And then at the end, the screen kind of shifts, and then it opens up like the cave does in the shrines, and then you walk through, and then there's the big area where you play the two demos. And we got to play the demos, and it was awesome. And you get a T-shirt and a coin, and that was just amazing.
I love that they let you smell the flowers as though you were
Yes.
Link entering this beautiful meadow.
Yeah, it was just a really unique experience. Um, I I have an article I wrote for I think it was Indie Watch that I entitled "Hungry for E3," and it was about I think it's that Monday, because I think Monday they show the Microsoft show, and they have the Sony at night, and we had that Sunday night we had eaten at like 8:30, 8 o'clock ish, and when we got up, we got those free tickets to the show, and that was at 7:30 for the Xbox. So we went there, and breakfast isn't served till 7:30 at our hotel, so we didn't get to eat. So we got there, and we thought maybe Microsoft would have some food, but there wasn't any food. So that
Oh,
was at 9 o'clock, and then that went to almost 11. And this whole article is basically how my day went, um, and we didn't get to eat for 24 hours. And we were like, I before I came to went to E3, I found out I was diabetic. So I was like, I need to eat something. We actually saw like one of those Turtle Beach like seminar things going on in this hotel. And they had these little shot glasses of chocolate mousse. So me and my wife went over and we grabbed one and we walked away, and
yes.
that's all we ate.
You
And
needed it.
I some awesome person did for me, and we basically didn't eat, and we my wife we were standing in the Sony line, and she wanted to leave, and I'm like, oh, we're probably gonna get in. So the show started. We ended up getting in 20 minutes after the show started, and we were supposed to go to the third floor, but we ended up she's an instigator. She's like, let's follow these guys. We follow these guys in suits, and they walk up to the main floor, and we follow them in these seats, and we're in row 13 in front of the stage, and I'm like, okay, we'll just sit here. So that's what we did. We sat there and watched the whole show. So that is when they showed Spider-Man and Death Stranding, and after the show, she saw those guys go into this like side room. She's like, let's go see what's back there. So we go back there, and they had a huge after party. Just they had trays going across. Two guys would hold these trays and chicken wings, and all over these plates. And they had beer and wine and water and just hors d'oeuvres everywhere. And I'm like, this is awesome. So
That is awesome.
and then we played some VR, and my wife had just gotten a Fitbit, and she runs over to me, and she's like freaking out, just, and I could tell her meter's going up, her heart rate's going up, and she pulls me over, and it's Conan O'Brien is sitting there, and Conan O'Brien's one of her favorite people, and Conan O'Brien was interviewing Kojima, and so I'm starstruck seeing Kojima. She's starstruck seeing Conan O'Brien. So it was a great day. Minus
Oh,
not eating, but it was worth it. So
that is, I'm so glad you got that experience. Not many people do.
no, it's been a dream since high school. Like I've always wanted to go, and it's sad to see like it not happening this year, of course. And also, I'm not knocking it for being public, but I went the last year where it wasn't public, but semi was because of the Microsoft conference that let a bunch of people in. But I feel it's a bigger attraction when you have all these people coming in, when it was mainly supposed to be for media, you know. Good for them for opening for the public, but at the same time it kind of is uh, hindering, some of the progress for the media. So
Yeah, especially when you have people maybe waiting to see someone that you're hoping to interview or
yep.
get some quotes from. And
Yeah, I saw EJ Numa too. That was kind of cool. So
oh, did you get to talk to him?
I didn't get to talk to him directly, but he was standing like right, 10 feet away from me. So it was pretty cool.
What city was E3 in? Is it in the same city every time, or it moves?
Well, the original one I think was somewhere else, but it was in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's been in like 2 or 3 different areas over the course of, I don't know how many, 20 years maybe. So
Wow, 20 years.
oh, it's probably more than that. Actually, it's probably close to 30. I think it started in the 90s sometime. So,
oh my gosh.
yeah.
Wow.
But I think the original was just for anyone in the industry behind closed doors, I believe it was. And then they kind of opened it for the media. Then I think it was public once, and then it went back to being media. So
that would be cool if you got to go again and write something.
well, if we ever do, I'm pretty sure we could all go with Another Zelda Podcast, because you only need to be part of a media outlet and have a .com basically.
What?
So we could go as a group if we wanted.
Okay, Shane, you just made my 2020 better with that information. I would love that. I haven't met everybody in real life, just David.
Yeah.
And you have met David, and he was supposed to do a road trip to everyone's locations before 2020 happened. And so we've been trying to help him out with different episodes as much as possible.
Yes.
And it's been a challenge, but I'm very thankful for the team that is here, because I think everybody cooperates and has some really great ideas.
Yes. I think we're a good mesh of ideas and minds. So good personalities. That's always a plus. So
yeah, it really helps. I enjoy it. It's a joy. We've all been around people who are not nice or kind of arrogant, and I don't feel that at all with anybody.
Yes.
Another Zelda Podcast.
So nice.
I know. Gosh, life is full of drama enough as it is. You don't want to do it with your hobbies. But speaking of hobbies, Shane, what are some of your hobbies outside of gaming?
Well, I like to do axe throwing. That's before this whole COVID thing. I was in an axe throwing league. My wife had told me I should join the sport, so I did, and it was awesome. Her coworker was interested in going, and so we decided we'd be a team, and our team name is Axes and Allies. I love it. We won like our first tournament, and then I think we got second in the second time we played. We won the third tournament, and then I think we didn't qualify in the fourth, and then we went to the finals in the fifth and lost our fifth time going. So, but man, it's so much fun. I've met so many cool people, and just you would think when you think axe throwing, you think gruff, burly men. It's definitely not like that. You basically, this place called Tapped on the Lake Shore, and you can get a micro beer. They have 20 to 25 on tap every week, and they would swap them out. They had like pineapple beer and other different beers from Hawaii and stuff like that. But you get a beer and you practice throwing some axes, and then you play, and it was awesome.
It
And I can't
sounds
wait
really
to do that
cool.
again. So
Yeah. So the only time I've ever seen axe throwing is at Renaissance fairs. I think that's a thing you can do. Have you ever seen them at Renaissance fairs?
yes, actually, one of my coworkers worked at one, and I went for my birthday one year, and they did have like they had axe chopping, like wood contests, and they had axe or hatchet throwing, as they called it. So um, it wasn't exactly the same, but it was. Um I think you could play it as the same. So
So what kind of techniques do you have to use? Like, is this something that takes practice before you make a bullseye?
well, um, the first time I went with some coworkers from work. Um, most I'm very good at accuracy games, so darts, um, bago. I don't know if you know bago. It's called bag toss or um, uh, beanbag toss type thing.
Oh,
They
yeah,
call it
yeah. Is
bago tournaments up here.
like cornhole?
Yeah, cornhole is another
Oh,
sport too.
okay. Okay.
Um, and so, yeah, pretty decent at those kind of games. So when I played this, I didn't think I'd be that good. I think after about 10 to 20 throws, I was actually hitting the board. And when we started, there's blue dots up in the top, left and right, and they were pretty big. They're about the size of the bottom of a soda can. And if you hit that, that's 10 points. The red dot in the middle is 6 points, and then it's 4, 3, 2, 1 on the rings outside it. And yeah, I didn't think I'd start hitting the blue ones, but I started to do it. And then I think after the third season, they actually made the blue dot like this small, like almost half the size. And I didn't think I'd hit that, but when we played it would have been our third tournament. Normal games or matches last, I want to say 10 to 15 minutes. Our match lasted almost an hour. Me and my partner, we played a game where you get up to 100, but if you get blue, you can either take 10 points or you can subtract 15 from the other team's score. So we played for a half hour. The other team was amazing, and they hit 100. So it was my turn. I had one rebuttal, threw it, got a blue. I subtracted them 15. I threw again, got another blue, subtracted them another 15. Then they threw, they missed the blue, and then the second throw they only got a 1 or 2 because it's right where the blue is. So then my partner throws, he gets a blue, he subtracts him another 15, and then he hits, I think, a 6, and we ended up winning. So it was amazing. And
The way you're describing that, it sounds like almost like Uno, where you can make
yes,
people really mad.
reverse.
Yeah, you can impede their progress. Shane has an awesome Zelda mug right now too. If you guys
Oh,
are
yes, I
listening.
got that for my brothers for my birthday from the Nintendo store in New York. So
That is a cool store. Have you ever been in?
I've not been to New York City. I've been through New York, upper New York, but I've never been to New York City. So
I wish they would open more Nintendo stores.
that would be nice.
Yeah, kind of
I
like,
think they're on
the
the
Disney stores.
weekend. Yes,
Yeah.
Disney store is pretty cool. Me and my wife usually through work they would do a Chicago trip every year, and you pay $5 or $10 to go down per person, and then you spend all day down on Michigan Avenue down there, and we'd always hit up the Disney store first, get something for our daughter for Christmas, and then we'd buy some ornaments for the tree. So it's always nice. And then my wife would pick some makeup. So
She's a girl after my own heart.
yes, I think you two would get along very well. So
Well, she likes Frasier. That's all I need to know.
yeah.
His wife actually tweeted at me. I guess he had listened to my 1v1 or something, and I was talking about Frasier maybe.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, I checked Twitter, and I have this. This. I don't know if it's like considered a comment or an just like this mentioning of me talking about you like Frasier too. It was so funny.
Yeah. she likes a lot of those. Like Seinfeld is one of her favorite. Um, and then she tends to watch things um, in series. Like she'll watch Friends, and then she'll watch Seinfeld, and she'll watch Frasier, and then she'll go switch back to
Mhm.
Friends, or she got me hooked on Gilmore Girls, so I've been watching that. So
How is that? I've never watched
I
it
I
before.
actually enjoyed it. It's pretty decent. Um, it's funny. I'm not one to enjoy a lot of those types of shows, but I do enjoy that show. So she's
Is
slowly acclimating me to the episodes. So
is that the show where I think one of the characters has like a book list going on?
um, the younger girl, she loves books. She constantly reads books. She has a big wall of books. So yeah, I would probably. I'm only in season 2, so I don't know. Maybe she does keep a list eventually, or she has a list somewhere that I know she shows someone in an episode. But I, uh, I recommend it. It's a good couple show too.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Nice. I'm always looking for something kind of new to watch because sometimes I get into this habit of just rewatching the same shows.
Yeah, I like the Goldbergs.
Yes.
Me and my wife love that show. Um, I'm trying to think what else we tend to watch. We're watching The Masked Singer with my daughter. So we'll try to guess, and she'll make up some name. I asked her who's gonna lose this time last night, and she said chocolate chip's gonna be in there, and I'm like, oh,
Chocolate chip.
well, okay. She'll make up a celebrity name, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's really cute. I've never watched it. Is it
I
entertaining?
Yeah, I enjoy it. If you find out who people are, then it kind of ruins it.
Hmm.
But so far, I've guessed 2 of the 3 winners. So,
Who did you guess that accurately?
uh, do you want it ruined or?
Uh, well, is this a spoiler? I mean, I'm
The
assuming that
first season,
people have already been
first
revealed.
season Monster won, and I guessed who that was. And then the second season, I can't remember. I think was it Fox? I guessed who that was. Third season, I did not know who this person was. So
Forgive me if this is a silly question, but are these established singers?
yes and no. So you can have celebrities as sports figures, as actors, as magicians, as performers, as singers. It could be anybody with a well-known status. Um, even politicians have been on there. Don't want to ruin anything for you, but it's pretty funny.
Oh, okay. Because I thought the whole time I'm thinking, okay, well, if everybody is familiar with like Britney Spears' voice or a Backstreet Boys voice, I think that'd be pretty
So
easy. But now that they throw these other performers in the mix,
a
that
lot,
makes
a lot of people can guess though. Like there have been some really um, older singers on there that some of the audience and the judges can tell right away that's who it is. So
Mhm.
they did a new twist this season where um, before the person um, uh, before the per I think right after they sing they have to write down who they think it is and put it in as their first initial guess, and then normally just the singer would whoever wins gets the golden mask. Well, if the judges get enough guesses right on who that celebrity or whoever is under that mask right, they'll get the golden ear award this time. So it's kind of a cool twist that they're doing.
That's cool.
Yeah,
And I like that your little girl watches it with you guys and gets all hyped up. And I
yep.
like that she submits her own guesses. Chocolate chip. That's going to be my musician name if I ever get
Oh,
big.
shit.
Not that I'm a singer, but what kind of music do you like to listen to, Shane?
Well, my favorite band is Reliant K. I've been listening to them since 2001. So I've got pretty much all their albums. Really nice pop Christian band. Um, but I also like Shinedown, Breaking Benjamin, um, Linkin Park, Yellow Card, um, Disturbed. Some of those bands too. So, uh, and I really enjoy all like video game instrumental music. So
Do you play any instruments yourself?
I don't, besides kazoo and triangle.
Well, I think those count.
Okay.
I think those are valid. They're necessary. I like them.
I did play the triangle once in our. It was the 10 Little Angels, and I hit the thing.
Oh, like to get their wings or something.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love it. I I love video game music. Have you ever had a chance to see video games live?
Yes, I have. My
Yes.
got me front row tickets in Madison one year. Amazing. Tommy Tallarico's awesome. Got to meet him afterwards. We got a picture with him. We got like his autograph, and then the guy that did the Halo Music's autograph, and the girl that dresses up as Link and plays the violin and the flute. We got to meet her and get her signature. It was awesome. I really enjoyed that. Just music to me sometimes better than the story when I'm playing something. Because it pulls you in. You kind of look away from the screen, you can still hear it, and it sounds awesome. It's always there. So
Yeah, it's like try to imagine playing a video game without music, or like think about sections where the music is no longer there. It's very unsettling.
Rock Band would be very different. So.
Yeah, I think that would remove the whole purpose of Rock Band.
I love that game.
That's a good point. Yeah, you've mentioned before that that's one of the things you're looking forward to when people can gather safely again, right?
Yes, I think I have like 500 plus songs that we've added from previous games and downloaded. So such a good collection of them. I can't not waste it. So,
what are some of the songs that you feel you really shine on?
I want to say The Killers. When We Were Young is one of my favorite on there. Also, Mr. Brightside. Danny California by Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm pretty decent at. Trying to think of some of the other. I Believe in a Thing Called Love.
By the Darkness.
I think I posted something on Twitter once, but I can actually hit the notes and then come back down. So.
What?
Yeah.
That's a hard falsetto.
Yeah, I can't really I have to be listening to the music when I do it. I'm not very good at just winging it. But if I can hear it, I can usually mimic it. So
that is cool. That's such a good song. Like
so
that's such a
play when you guys come up to visit sometime.
Oh, I would love it. Is it okay if we don't go while it's snowing? I think you guys get a lot of snow, right?
Yeah. I just turned on the heated floors before this morning actually. It's supposed to get 38 tonight outside, so.
What?
Yep. What? That's still pretty warm. So.
Oh my gosh, we had highs of like 82 today.
Oh wow.
I know.
We haven't had. I think we hit 70 once last week, and then it's been pretty much 50s all this week. So.
What? So it always blows my mind whenever I think about people having to deal with snow. It's like I know it's there, I know it exists, but it's like if it snows down here, it's like maybe every 10 years, and it's very light.
Okay.
But like in 2017, it snowed enough for people to make snowmen, but it was very light. Like you don't have to worry about shoveling or anything like that. It's more just like a the equivalent of a drizzle. But because a lot of people aren't used to those conditions, a lot of places will close for the night to discourage traffic. And sometimes people up north make fun of us, like, oh, you can't handle that. But it's not safe if people aren't used to those frozen roads,
Sure. And if you don't have the equipment and you don't have the city officials that go around and push the snow and all that, or the trucks to even do that, a lot of people around here have trucks with the added equipment to push the snow, and so and snow blowers are everywhere. So yeah, if you don't have those, that makes a pretty difficult time to get around. So
yeah, and people are not the best drivers during normal
yeah,
times, the best of times. So I don't know if I want to risk my life with them on
yeah,
cold roads.
it's weird. Like I don't think I've ever gotten into an accident with snow. My car has spun around on the interstate, and I've gotten stuck in the snow once or twice. That wasn't on a busy road or anything, but I got out. It just you just got to learn how to handle the wheel when you're driving, especially in icy conditions. You basically, I'm required to go to work. They say if it's unsafe, I don't have to come in, but I'll probably have to use a sick day. But
Not your fault.
Yeah, it's not. But I probably will be late if there's a pretty big snowfall, because I'm supposed to be up at 4 a.m., be at work at 5. I want to say 2 or 3 years ago, I was shoveling snow in my driveway, and normally that takes 2.5 hours to shovel by hand about a foot or more of snow. And my back will be hurting, and everything hurts, and you're freezing, and then you have to go to work. So now I have a snow blower, and it's a lot easier, but still you have to get up, put everything on and snow blow, and that snow will blow right in your face, and your face gets like instant freeze. Your eyes, the snow in your just it like sticks to your eyelids, and it's hard to see, and it'll be in my beard, and
it's not a good time.
It's not it. I prefer cutting the grass, but the gamble of it not snowing and not having to do that's kind of nice too. But I want to say at least once or twice a week it'll snow on average.
So do you like the wintertime? Do you like that?
I like cold. I like for sleeping. I like colder weather. We don't have central air in this house, so it's so hot in here during the summer. I can't stand it. It's hard to sleep. At least in the winter, I can turn the heat on and get it to a temperature I like, and I can sleep pretty easy then. So
is central air not common up there?
A lot in older houses, yes. This house I got, I think, was built in it's up there, 1873. Yeah, but when we bought it, they said the improvements on the house were like it was a 20-year-old house. But it did. The only thing it doesn't have is central air, and I would like to put that in. So hopefully we get that next stimulus check, and I can
use it to help with climate control in your house. I ask that because when I interviewed David Lasby, he lives in Seattle, and he was saying that most houses do not have central air, or I don't even think they have window units because the climate is so nice. He said there might be just 2 weeks out of the year that they deal with really uncomfortable heat. And I'm just trying to picture my life without central air in the summertime in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Shane, if you guys are welcome to come visit, but because I love you, I don't want you to come in the summertime because I want you to actually have fun.
My brother told me not to go visit him in Japan in August because he says he goes through about 2 to 3 shirts a day because it's so humid. He'll have to change out his shirt. So that'd be terrible. Like at work, I work in a 110-degree hot room sometimes, and that can be humid because there's water in there. But for the most part, I don't have to change my shirt, and I can just go into the cold room that's right next door. So,
Do you have a lot of humidity where you live?
um, yeah, I we live right next to Lake Michigan, so it's not even a mile from my house. So it's it can get pretty humid in the
Mm-hmm.
summer, and that's why it can be miserable here versus maybe Seattle. You don't have the lake right there, maybe unless you live right on the water. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if salt water has different. I'm assuming has different humidity properties than fresh water. So um,
Hmm. That's
plus
a good point.
the weather coming in, normally it'll go east or west to east by us. So it'll go from. We also have a little. Where I'm from is Fond du Lac, and that's an hour away. There's another body of water called Lake Winnebago, and usually the everything will go over that, and then it'll come right for where I am now, and it will either be super bad or super nice, based on the I don't know how it all works, but based on being between the two lakes, sometimes we don't have like a lot of snow or we don't have a lot of rain when everybody else does. We usually don't get tornadoes on this side of between the two lakes, so that's kind of nice.
That
So,
that was going to be my next question. How, like, what kind of natural disasters or what kind of
um,
mean aspects of Mother Nature do you have to worry about over there?
tornadoes mainly. I think it was 1996. I was 11, almost 12. Um, I lived in Fond du Lac, and we had a F5 tornado, and it was very devastating. Um, a lot of, uh, I don't think anybody actually died. Actually, and it was pretty amazing for being an F5. No one died, but it destroyed the town of Oakfield, and it was coming up over the hill because we lived right off of a main highway, and the hill came down, and we were at the bottom of the hill, and my dad was home with me and I want to say three or four of my brothers. My mom was in town, and it started hailing. And my uncle called and he said, "Get in the basement." And so we got in the basement, and my dad was watching out the window and he saw it come over the hill, and it was hovering over the ground, and it was in the field across the street.
Oh my God.
And he came down, and I remember this. He was actually told us he loved us, and he was crying because it was coming right for the house. And then about 5 minutes later, he went back up there because nothing happened, and he said that it had just moved slightly, and it was still rotating right above the field. And so he ran back downstairs, and it sounded, like the train, as a lot of people say, it sounded like a train, and it must have did like a U-turn back, and it went through the forest that's across the street, and it actually hit my dad's aunt's house, and she had just gotten down into the basement. And I remember I saw it go up in the clouds, probably about 10 minutes later, because we came up to look, and it was scary, and it all summer we had to clean all this debris up. I remember going to my dad's aunt's house, seeing a fork stuck into the tree, like just stuck in there, like someone just put it right in there, and it was wedged in there pretty good. And we had to clean all that debris up. And then I think the worst part about it was my uncle had corn pretty high. It was probably about 8 feet high, and we had to go through each row of corn and get all the debris out of it, because if he uses the machinery to cut it down, it would wreck the machinery.
Oh yeah.
So that was a lot of work. We found like dolls and bank statements and all sorts of stuff in our yard. So pretty scary, and at the same time eye-opening, and nature's pretty powerful. So
Oh, I'm so sorry that happened.
thank you. I'm just glad no one got hurt, and none of my friends got hurt, and family. So
Yeah, your great aunt is very lucky that she
Okay.
made it into the basement.
She was in
She
the
did.
she was in the attic actually, and her son. So my dad's cousin called her and said, "Get in the basement." So she ran down to the basement, and as soon as she got into the basement, she just heard this roar, and the house just toppled over. So
That I don't. We deal with hurricanes down
oh
here,
yeah,
and I don't think anywhere is safe from Mother Nature.
oh no, no,
I mean, I look what's going on with the fires in California, and then
yeah,
different places have flooding. I'm sure snow can be pretty dangerous too.
oh absolutely. You get stranded out there. Um, you hear once in a while. I don't think it happens as often, but you hear once in a while people will be stranded out in the snow and they don't make it. But that's I would say a lot of it probably is based on someone drinking because Wisconsin is known for their drinking, and I'm assuming a lot of people will leave a bar or something, and they don't know what's going on and they'll freeze. So it's sometimes sad, but um, just it is what it is, and you just gotta be aware of your surroundings at all times. So
Yeah, when you hear about just things that happen outside of humans' control that can bring such devastation, it makes me angry that we bring about so much devastation on ourselves.
sure, yeah,
Man-made issues, it just breaks my heart. I was actually tearing up when you were talking about the tornado because I don't thankfully nobody was hurt,
yeah,
but just like we've never dealt with loss of home
mm,
from hurricanes, thankfully, but driving through New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina and Lake Charles right now after Hurricane Laura, just insurance takes forever to go through all those claims,
yeah,
and not everybody has family to help them out or a place to stay. And
yeah.
oh,
I can imagine that's probably pretty hard. I'm sure everyone has flood insurance down there and all that. So,
you do, and where we live is pretty high up, but I just I just wish people were those situations, and I'm sure you've seen it with what you've dealt with in Wisconsin. I find that despite tragedies, there are some really good people. You do see the kindness of humanity
yeah,
come out.
yeah. It's actually with the devastation, especially so many people volunteer their time to come and help and help whether you donate or you come out and actually help someone clean up or just maybe let someone sleep at your place or whatever the case may be that's helping and if you can do that that gives me hope that everyone has goodness so
Yeah, I think so. I think most people are good, and something happened along the way to harden their hearts. I don't know.
yeah yeah I hope I'm never like that. So,
No, God, Shane, if you ever get like that would be like finding out Lassie's an alcoholic. That's from the Golden Girl, so I can't take credit for it. But are you a big sports fan?
not really. I love watching the Green Bay Packers. I played football in high school and grade school. I was in karate for a little bit, and axe throwing I can kind of consider a sport. So, but other than that, I didn't mainly do sports. I was in Boy Scouts. I'm an Eagle Scout, so that's kind of cool. I I was homeschooled for 4 years, so I did a lot of drawing classes, and that's where my main interest in drawing and gaming kind of came from. And that and my mom, when I was younger, um, she was pregnant with twins, and I was pretty sick with allergies. I had really bad allergies when I was younger, and so we played Mario Brothers 1 through 3 all summer and fall, and that's kind of how I got into to playing games. So
Oh, that's really sweet. So those must be
yeah.
some very special games to you.
Yes, those three especially, and it's always funny because I asked my mom why do you not play you know any of the other games, other Super Mario, and she'll say, well, because they added extra buttons to the controller. So
That's a valid reason, I
yeah,
think.
yeah,
And have you? I think you got the 35th anniversary 3D All Stars
I
collection,
did.
right?
I did, and
Hmm.
I have not opened it yet. I'm still playing Paper Mario.
Yes, yes.
So
Where are you in Paper Mario?
I'm in the pyramid. I'm looking for the discs for the DJ to, I assume, fight a hole punch.
Yes, yes, very good. Don't you love the office supplies used in
Yes,
this
I used to
game?
work at Staples, so that it kind of is like kind of reminds me of Staples.
Yeah, probably a little bit more fun, I would imagine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
But what do you think about this Paper Mario? Have you played the other ones?
I played all of them except Color Splash, which I
Okay.
do own. I just need to find time to play it.
I
Um,
know, yeah.
I really enjoyed the first two. Like really got into them. Loved the RPG aspects of it, having the character, you know, one-on-one fight, leveling up, stuff like that.
Hmm.
Then Super Paper Mario, I liked the writing. I thought it was funny, but I didn't care as much for the 2D 3D shift. Um, it was cool, but I didn't enjoy it as much as the first two. And then I got Sticker Star, and I actually didn't even beat that one because I couldn't get into it. I let my wife play. She actually beat it, and I don't want to say she doesn't play a lot of games, but she beat that game for some reason. I'm like, oh, if you like it, you like it. But I did not enjoy that one. And then I got Color Splash at the tail end of the Wii U, and I never played it. And then I got this one, and I think it's a shift in a better direction. I think it's still funny. The writing's good, but I would like to see the leveling up system again, where
Hmm.
you actually have a purpose to fight the enemies and you level up.
Hmm. It's different. Yeah, like there's no incentive really except coins.
Yeah, so for me, I'm trying to avoid fighting them. I just try to go around them. I know you can't avoid probably 50% of them, but it just if I see somebody, I'll just try to go the other way and
Hmm.
just try to
Yeah.
continue the story. So
Yeah, at some point I was either jumping on them or hitting them with the hammer to get a one-hit kill. I like what Earthbound does, where once you're a really high level, enemies will actually avoid you because they're scared of you. And
okay,
if you run up to them, it does like a little zoom as though a battle's about to start. And then it just says you won, and you get a little bit of experience. You don't even have to go into the battle. It saves a lot of time, but you can still grind a little bit. I kind of wish Paper Mario would do that. You know?
okay, yeah, I agree. Um, I don't. There's just one element that I feel like it's still missing, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
maybe that's it. Maybe it's a combination of something. But I really like the original ones, and I think they could take that and really make the next one uh, a combination of this Origami King and the original ones. It just I think they could mesh it really well. So hopefully they do. I know the reason that they switched from doing it is because of the Mario and Luigi RPG games. They didn't want to have two RPG series, and the Mario RPGs, like the Mario and Luigi RPGs, I like, but there's something with those two that I don't necessarily enjoy either. I don't know what it is, but uh, I feel that now that was it Intelligent Systems that made those, and they are
I
no
think so.
longer a company. Um, are they going to be making those again, or is someone else picking them up? Is it going to be a combo of Mario and Luigi with Paper Mario? So we'll have to see where that goes, because last I heard, Nintendo hasn't said anything about giving that property to another studio. So
yeah, you bring up a good point, because Alpha Dream.
Alpha Dreams, there we go.
Yes, because I was looking it up.
Current one, right? Or is it Next Level?
Alpha Dream, and in October 2019 they were shut down after declaring
Alpha Dreams
bankruptcy. But it is Intelligent Systems for Fire Emblem, Paper Mario, and something else it's listing. Wars? The Wars series?
Wars.
Famicom Wars, Advance Wars. That might be what we know it as.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. What so I know, Shane, we're going all over the place. I hope you don't mind that with all the time.
I enjoy this.
I like it too. I like sometimes people will say something and I just like, oh, I want to jump on that. But yes, your Packers did beat the Saints on Monday.
I did see that. I wasn't sure if you were a fan of the Saints, or if you didn't watch football. I don't know. Are you?
So I don't really follow it or keep up with it. Timmy, my boyfriend, really enjoys it. He's not fanatical. Like, he's not one of those gonna get up and scream at the TV. He just enjoys it. I went through a phase when I was young and dumb where I was like, football's for jocks, like that. You want to be different.
You weren't dumb.
I was. You know how when you're a teenager, early 20s, you're trying to define yourself by your interest, and you want to be different for the sake of being different. Like when the Saints won the Super Bowl, I was like, I don't care. I don't care. But now that, even though like I'm not very interested in football, my boss has season tickets, and sometimes if he can't make the pre-games, he'll give us his tickets. And I have to say, of course, obviously not this year, but I have to say the times that I've been, even if I don't know what's going on, just the energy from the fans, and just, seeing something that makes people happy. I'm like, even if I don't get this, or it's not very important to me, it's very important to these people. They have memories with it.
It's a way to get together with people. A common enjoyment. And I lived in Green Bay for 5 years, so we would constantly be invited to Patrick parties, and it was fun because half the time you didn't watch a game. It's just, I can have a beer and some brats and talk with someone here and find out about their life. But what was really interesting is we lived up there during when they won the last Super Bowl. I forget. I don't even remember which one it was. It was maybe 10 years ago. And it was really interesting because we were driving home. I had come from Radio Shack to my friend's house to watch it, and my wife had come from the bank. And we met there and we left after. So we both had separate cars. She drove behind me in her car. And as I'm driving, I go over the bridge and they closed the bridge. And my wife got sent off to the side to some kind of parking garage, and she had to get out. And at that time, we didn't have GPS. We didn't have cell phones that were the best. So she was not very good with directions. So we had to call each other, and I had to tell her how to get back home. But it took her 15-20 minutes to get back to the apartment. And it was interesting because I thought someone shot my car or something, and I turned around and it was someone shooting Roman candles off in the street, and they were carrying the fake Lombardi trophies around, and people are running across the street, and It was crazy. Like it was like a riot of some sort, but everyone was
A
happy.
happy riot.
Yeah, drunk and happy. So it was a cool
That's
experience.
cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I
Yeah.
really enjoy the stadium, the Packer Stadium, because it's like the only stadium that's like in a, I want to say it's in the city, but it's like a rural setting for a city. It's just, there's a couple houses here. There's like the rest center where they play music across the street, and it's the training field next door. And it's just it's like local. Like it feels like a local establishment, and you see this big stadium in the middle of just these smaller establishments. It is really cool. It feels like they're more like closer to the people. You know what I mean? It feels like homely. So
Is is it aren't the Packers the only NFL team not
owned by
owned
the
by
public.
one? Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, because I actually do have a coworker who is a huge Packers fan. He has the cheese head and everything.
nice. But
Yes, he
does he
loves
have
Packers.
cheese butt?
Cheese butt?
Yeah, you can get these buns that strap on, and it's a cushion, but it's cheese buns.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have to text him tomorrow and
Yeah,
ask him about this and be like, is this work appropriate to send you? But I have to ask, do you
yeah,
have cheese bun?
yeah.
That's
Ask him
awesome.
if he has proper posture, or if he needs extra padding for his chair.
Now it's called the Lombardi Stadium? Or is
No,
that
it's called Lambeau Field.
Lambeau Field? That's what it is.
So
Okay.
Curly Lambeau, I think, was one of the original owners or something like that. So that's what they named it after. And it's kind of cool because all the streets around there are like named after famous coaches and Packers. So
That is cool. I would like to go see different stadiums, even though I'm not really a sports person. Like
yeah,
we went to when we went to Chicago last year, we went on a tour of Wrigley Field,
oh,
and I liked that more than the game. Honestly, just the
I hear you.
history.
Like I've been to 3 or 4 Brewers games, and first time I enjoyed it. It was before they rebuilt it, and my dad brought me when I was like 12 or 13. Like, and I watched the game from behind the dugout. I thought it was cool, and then as I got older, it was more okay. We're tailgating out in the parking lot, and then maybe we'll go in and watch the game for a little bit and come back out. So that's kind of how it was the last 2 or 3 times I've been there. So
Oh, that's cool.
because it's just Wisconsin's pretty much beer, brats, cheese, cranberries. So
That's not a bad mix.
no, it's not.
So,
And
how
it's funny to me because we have cranberries, we have cranberry bogs, and Ocean Spray is from Wisconsin. And we're like, why is it called Ocean Spray? It's not even close to Ocean.
Oh, okay. So it was founded in Wisconsin.
Yes.
I always wonder that because I used to like the commercials where these two men are just standing
Yeah.
in a cranberry bog, and I was like, how do I get to one of
Check out my
those?
bog.
Cool. But, okay, I do have a question for you about Wisconsin because one of the guys in Boss Rush Games, Jesse Douglas, he also lives in Wisconsin.
Okay.
And he was telling us when he and his family went camping a few weekends ago, there is this monastery that's kind of in the middle of nowhere where these monks sell different jams and candies.
I think I've heard of that. I don't know what it's called. I've
Uh,
heard of this before.
okay. Like
Do you know what area he lives in?
oh my gosh. I don't remember. I'm going to ask him and I'm going to let you know. But there was a point in time where we were talking about you and how you live in Wisconsin, and he thought I was saying I live in Wisconsin. He got all excited. I'm like, oh no, it's not me, because he doesn't know you yet. But he was like, oh, there's finally another Wisconsinite, and he shared the website, and I'm gonna find it. They make these different chocolates, and they sustain themselves by making these jams.
Oh, that's cool.
Monks in Wisconsin, like it's an air. He was explaining to us that the area they live in is kind of neglected, like it's kind of left to its own devices.
Hmm. Interesting.
It's Jam Pot at Poor Rock Abbey.
Poor Rock Abbey. Huh.
I don't know if that's ringing a bell.
It's not. I've heard of someone like monks selling stuff, but I didn't know that was what it was called. But I'm wondering if it's like south of us that I'm not too familiar with. Maybe it's by Madison. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. That's interesting.
It's they're called the Society of St. John, and they are located in Eagle Harbor.
Eagle Harbor.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like it's up north somewhere.
Yeah, I'm looking at the map, and it's like almost the end of Wisconsin.
So this is Door County. It's like way up here.
Yeah, it's like at the
Or it's Michigan
tip.
or Minnesota.
Yeah, it is out there.
Okay.
It's
probably up by like Eagle River, Eau Claire area. Okay.
Yeah, it says Eagle River and Phoenix, Traverse, Amique.
Okay.
Lake Linden.
Lakeland. I know where Lakeland is. I go to a cabin every once in a while in Lakeland. It's pretty fun. So.
Oh, okay. Well, the pictures I saw, it was absolutely beautiful, and I wanted to know if you had ever visited them. But you can actually order from their website as well, and I think I'd like to order some of their jam.
Actually, my mom's birthday's coming up in 7 days. Maybe I'll pick her up. Yeah.
Now, is this place far from you, Eagle Harbor? Is that
if it's up there? Yes. That's a couple hours to get up there. Like if I'm on the lakeside, so it can take me 6 hours or more to get to the other side of the state by La Crosse, where Michigan or Minnesota is. So it's a long drive, and if I have to go straight up towards that, it might be 5 to 6 hours, maybe more.
Wow! So it's not somewhere you could just go quickly pick up a birthday present.
No. Maybe I'll order it and give it to her or something. I was going to say something. I don't know if you ever heard this. A unique word to Wisconsin. Do you know what a bubbler is?
A bubbler. I think. Okay. I think you talked about this on Twitter when we were doing like regional.
Yes.
Words for things. That's a water fountain, right? Drinking fountain.
An H2O dispenser.
Yes.
It's weird. So the triangle from Green Bay to Madison to Milwaukee, a lot of people in that triangle say bubbler. And I remember as a kid, everyone called it a bubbler. And if the bullies would give you a bubbler ride if you didn't listen.
Oh.
So
what do you call it? Like, did you also call it a bubbler, or you called it?
For a long time, I called it bubbler. But Erin is from the East, and she didn't really know what that was. So I started calling it an H2O dispenser. So
I love these kind of things. I just love knowing what people call different names for the same things.
Because I think we mentioned this when we're talking on Twitter. It's called a cart here, like a grocery cart. It's called a buggy out east, or is it down south?
We call it a buggy.
Buggy down by you, and then it's a carriage out east.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, because I went to Connecticut to visit her family once, and we were at the store, and it said a carriage corral for the carts, and I'm like, oh, you guys call it a carriage? Interesting.
That sounds so fancy and sophisticated, like Cinderella's going to the ball.
Yes.
Yeah, we call it a buggy, and it sounds kind of endearing when you say grab the buggy, pick up the buggy. Oh, there's something else. Okay, what do you call sandwiches, like a submarine sandwich?
Subs.
Subs?
Yeah.
I think like in New Jersey, they call them hoagies.
Yep, they're hoagies there. Yep. Yeah, I think there's a few other names for them too. I've heard different names for
Mhm.
sandwiches, but yeah, for the most part, people say, "Give me a sub sandwich." So
Yeah, like we have Subway down here, and we just call it a sandwich. But we also have po' boys, which is a French bread with
sure.
fried shrimp or roast beef or fried oysters. Um, but like I know what I usually just call it a sandwich. Usually, what? Gosh, Shane, now I want to play this game with you where we call it different. I'm
Yeah,
trying,
we
what
should play
about
some
soft drinks?
soft drinks. Well, we'll call it soda. So yeah,
Yeah,
spark.
a lot of people down here just say Coke.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, okay, what are you? I personally, I say soft drink
Hmm.
or soda, and I'm like, okay, do you want a Coke or you want a Sprite? You what do you want?
I hear you. It confuses me when I go on vacation. So I hear people
Yeah.
say Coke, and I'm like, you're talking about soda, right?
Oh, I know that I love that kind of stuff. I just think it's I don't know. I like knowing. I also like knowing like, why do y'all call it that? But we're talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
And okay, we're gonna do one more. What am I? I'm gonna think of one. What do you call the breakfast food that's kind of flat and fluffy?
Flat and fluffy, like an omelet,
Oh, you
or
got
pancake.
pancake. Do you say pancake or flapjack?
Pancake.
Okay, yeah, me too. I say pancake as well. Apparently, flapjack is another.
When I think of flapjack, I think of like Paul Bunyan's story, and I feel like this is a fairy tale word that I can only use when addressing Paul Bunyan or a blue ox. So
Yes, I love that tale.
yes,
Isn't it? Babe is the name of the blue ox.
yes, yep, pretty sure.
Is that a Wisconsin story? Is that where it
I have
originates?
no idea. They have a giant like Paul Bunyan statue somewhere in Wisconsin. Um, Also a big muskie, uh, fit like a fish. Uh,
Oh, a muskie?
yeah, or a northern.
Oh, oh, that's pretty cool.
Mhm. I don't think I've ever
Well,
been to that, but
huh.
it's somewhere up north, I think. So,
Are there any states you would like to visit one day that you haven't
well,
been to?
I've been to all the states except for 13, and that would be.
Wow.
I haven't been to Alaska or Hawaii. I'd like to go both of those. Um, I haven't been to Arizona or New Mexico, and then the other ones are like all the small states like New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Rhode Island, Vermont, New Hampshire,
Mhm.
Maine. All those. Uh, I want to visit them all eventually, um, but I think I would really like to go to Alaska.
Gosh, you'd like on like an Alaskan cruise.
Yeah, I really would like to see the Northern Lights because that would be kind of cool.
That's my dream too, Shane. Just the pictures, I can only imagine how beautiful that
Yeah,
is in real life if the
yeah.
pictures are so
Animal
beautiful.
Crossing can't do justice.
No, I can't.
You
Are
know,
you playing right now?
okay, so I that game is supposed to be very stress relieving, but for the past 2 weeks I've been very stressed playing it because I'm trying to catch one thing in the water. I think it's the umbrella octopus or something like. It's not the regular octopus and it's not the vampire octopus. There's a third one. I forgot what
Hmm.
it's called. It's small and round like this, and you can catch it all day, all through September to November, and me and my wife have been taking turns just going out there trying to find it, and I am getting frustrated because we aren't catching it. It's the only thing we have to catch um, in the water, I guess, for the next 3 months. So
What? You're doing better than I am. It's you played the other Animal Crossings, right? Or at least a few of
all of
them.
them except the one on the 3DS. Yeah.
New Leaf,
New Leaf. I have not played that one. I only played a little of the Wild. Is it Wildwoods or
Wild World,
Wild World?
DS. Hmm.
Yeah. And I played City Folk very minimal, but I played the GameCube probably the most.
Yeah, that man, when that came out, that was
Oh,
like,
that was so addicting.
oh my God. I don't think I have the patience to deal with the load screen, like how it's in different little squares, and
Yeah.
as you move, it changes. It's not this flow like it is now. But man, when that game came out,
Yeah, it was kind of nice. My wife created her account or her person on my account. So I'm like, I was kind of like, "Ah, I wanted to play, but now I guess we can play together, and it'll be less of a chore because we can take turns. And it's kind of cool because we'll say, hey, we made this new recipe, or I caught these right now. Can you go? And she's got her list on her phone. She'll check them off. Go catch this insect, or go, do this. And she's really um, sculpted the island really nice. We got like a cafe area,
oh,
uh, um, like a Zen garden type thing. But she made the island look great. So that's something I probably wouldn't have put the time into. So it's kind of our different areas of expertise have meshed, and so it's kind of nice.
ask her to come fix my island to make it cute.
You'll probably do it.
I I just like the islands I have seen, it takes so much time for them to get to that
You'll have
level.
to come visit ours and take a look at it. So
Yeah, I don't think I've been to any. The only person's island I've been to is like besides out of my sisters and my cousins, Dan's DCD's.
oh,
That's
okay.
the only
I
person.
I think I've been to three of my brothers and my sisters. One of my brothers does not own a Switch, so uh,
Oh no!
I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with him, but
I was gonna ask, like, who hurt him?
yeah.
Although right now they're very difficult to find, so
Yes,
I can't
that's
fault
one
him.
thing. So he's building a PC instead. So
Oh wow! Now, didn't you recently build a PC?
I purchased a CyberPower PC pre-built, and it's got pretty much everything I wanted in a PC for fairly cheap. And I figured since we got a stimulus check and my PC was pretty much dying, good time to swap everything over. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Are you enjoying it?
yeah, it's great because I can do podcasts like this and record things and um, actually play a Steam game or so just do basic things that the graphics I can actually see them.
Oh yeah, that's nice to see and
Yeah.
enjoy on
Yes.
a computer.
I think I bought Fallout New Vegas on Steam. I already own it on PS3, but I never bought the DLC, and I wanted to play it, and I purchased it, and I turned it on, and it wouldn't even load. And I'm like, okay, I need a new computer.
Oh, so have you been
That's
able to
all.
play it since?
Yeah, I've been able to load it in. I just there's just so many games I have that I right now I'm like I said I'm playing some minimal Animal Crossing right now. Paper Mario I'm playing a little of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. That game is very very like story heavy. So I'm trying to get through all that, and it's very mechanic um, heavy as well. So I gotta get used to all the different mechanics. And every time I start playing Paper Mario and then go back to it, I'm like, I don't even remember what I was supposed to do. But I'll eventually get some more hours into that. But I just finished the Outer Worlds on PS4, and that is a very good um, I don't want to say substitute, but it is a lot like Fallout, and it was just a very um, good. I don't want to say great story, but it was a pretty good story, and it just felt like a space Fallout. So
Space Fallout. That sounds really cool. I've never played a Fallout game. I've just seen
and,
pictures
and I
of
think I've told
everything.
you I played Fallout 3, and I put 120 hours into it, only to find that I couldn't beat the game because of a glitch, and yeah, it's not fun. So I had to replay it, couple months later and beat it, and I beat all the DLC. I recommend Fallout 3. It's probably one of my favorite. You might be more into Fallout 4 because it's newer. You might enjoy it better. Fallout 3 is kind of dated now. It looks dated, but I think if they did a remaster of that in New Vegas, I think it would look really nice. It had a lot of bugs in it.
Okay.
But
Now, do you have to play them in order to enjoy the series?
no, I actually I've never played the original Fallout 1 or 2 or Tactics. I keep hearing people say that they're awesome, a lot better than 3 and Vegas and 4, and definitely 76. 76 I still have yet to beat the story because it's cool, but it's not, with no NPCs in it originally. It felt like Zelda when you get to that Temple of Time and you feel lonely. So, but everything's
That's
trying
not
to.
a good feeling.
So, but yeah, the other game I'm playing, I just started The Last of Us Part 2, and that story is so far is pretty engaging and graphic. I know a lot of people have controversy about the story. I still don't know what the story is.
You've avoided spoilers.
Yeah, so far I'm enjoying it, and we'll see where the story takes me. I'm at the point where I'm wondering who's going to be gone, or if anybody's going to be, taken from the story. But it seems like it's going to be sad in some portions of it. I don't know, but we'll see. I really like Naughty Dog games like Uncharted. I really enjoy, especially 4. 4 was great. 2 was my favorite, but 4 was great. And I know you like walking simulators and stories. I don't know any of the Uncharted games.
I haven't played them. I've seen them. I know Nathan Drake, right?
Yeah, I recommend playing. The collection on PS4, you can play. The first time I played the original Uncharted, I started to play and I did not enjoy it. And as I ran out of games to play, I said, okay, I'm going to just play this. Well, about halfway through, I really started enjoying the game. And then when 2 came out, I was just blown away at how much better it was. And 3 was good, but 4 really does pull it all together, and I think 4 has the most heart to it, with combining all 4 of the games. But again, 2 is still my favorite based on the story.
Wow.
I think you would enjoy it. I enjoy like Life is Strange or the Walking Dead games where it's story driven with choices. Uncharted has great story, but more action. You get fight scenes and stuff like that, but car chases.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
It's fun. I played the 4th one earlier this year. I've got a running list of all the games I've beaten this year.
That's right.
Yeah, and
you've been posting that sometimes.
Yeah, so I've beaten 30 games this year. I don't know. This is the first year I actually kept track of it. Some of the games were like an hour long, but I try to toss in indie games to kind of break apart the big games. So,
are there any indie games you played this year that you really liked?
I'm trying to think here. I really liked Bastion. That was like one of the original Xbox indie games. They brought it to Switch, and I played that, and I really liked it. They also made the new Hades game that came out. It's made by the same people. Transistor. I haven't played Transistor yet. I own it, but I haven't played it, and that's probably next on my list to try. I really, really enjoyed SteamWorld Dig 2. I had such a good time playing that game. I don't know if you played the SteamWorld Dig games.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, I think you would like it.
Steamroll?
Steam World.
Steam World.
Yeah.
Okay.
So SteamWorld Dig, I was actually one of the first games I got for free to review back in like 2014,
Oh,
and it was such a good game. And then they came out with SteamWorld Heist, which is a different type of game. It's like a tactical side scroller. Um, and then SteamWorld Dig 2 is so good. It's a digging game. You dig, and you upgrade your different weapons. Your pickaxe. You can hover. You can do different things as you go deeper, and you'll find these upgrades. And the story's good too. So
I
I
just looked it up. It
first,
looks really cute.
yeah, play the first one and then play the second one. But they have another one called SteamWorld Quest, and that's an RPG, card based, that I have not played yet. That I want to play.
So many games, so little time.
I know. I don't know. I like horror games. I like walking simulator games. I like first person shooter games, RPGs, strategy. There's just so many games. I'm just trying to think of some of my favorite, like Age of Empires on the computer. I love that game, especially two. Two is my favorite. They're supposed to be making a fourth one, and I'm kind of excited. I hope they don't mess it up like three, but the strategy in there is awesome. Bat and Kaitos.
I know you like that one.
I love that game. The art style in there is beautiful. The music is good. That's card based as well, and
Okay.
it's fun.
That that was a popular genre for the GameCube because I had Lost Kingdoms.
Oh, I love Lost Kingdoms too.
Hmm.
That was slightly different than Bat and Kaitos, because that you didn't you get the creatures and you could throw them out to battle for you as you go through. And Bat and Kaitos, you have to get the essence of different things and infuse them in cards, and then you combo the cards so they're numbered. So you have like a one on a card, and a two, and a three, and a four, and then a five. And if you get the right kinds of cards, you can play them all in a series and do a huge attack.
Oh,
And
that's neat. Like you get to build them up.
yes, so Bat and Kaitos Eternal Wings of the Lost Ocean uh, had a really good card element to it, whereas the Origins, they changed it up a bit, and it wasn't as fluid, I thought, but still beautiful art, good story. So
It looks beautiful. It looks
I
beautiful.
wish they would do a remake of those two on one disc, or a third one. Apparently, they were supposed to make a third one, but they went with some other game. So
Hmm.
maybe one day, who knows?
I know there's so many good games out there, and
I know.
there's so many things I want to play. And does this ever happen to you where you want to play a game, but you are just so tired that
Yep.
you cannot, like, you just feel like you can't
I
concentrate?
didn't even think that was like possible until I got a little older. I'm like, why am I so tired all the time? I remember my uncle, who borrowed me the Zelda game. He's like, I don't have time to play this. You can borrow it. And I'm like, why don't you have time to borrow it? You're an adult. You should be able to do whatever you want. And then
Oh,
he worked night shift. And when I started working, I'm like, yeah, I can see why you're tired and you don't want to play. And if you have children, it's tough. You don't have as much time to play, and then significant other, you want to hang out. So that either you learn to play games like Animal Crossing together, or like what we're doing right now, we're playing Donkey Kong Country 2. That's my
your
favorite
favorite ones.
for Nintendo game, but we've been playing through that back and forth, and it's been amazing. It's a good bonder.
It is.
So
So are you guys doing, okay, so I remember like you could play single player, you could
yeah.
play like the team mode, or you could do like a competition.
So we're doing single player. She'll play, and what we're trying to do is beat the level and get the DK coin and all the bonus barrels. So if she doesn't get it through the first time through, then I'll go and I'll play again, and I'll try to find it. And if I don't find, or maybe I'll find one of the bonus barrels that she missed, but we didn't get the DK coin, then she'll play again and try to find the DK coin. So we'll keep playing until we get all of those, and then we'll play the Lost World levels. So.
Oh God, the Lost World levels. They're
Man,
good, but
they're
they're
good,
hard.
but they're hard. And I remember spending hours and hours. Now, with that rewind feature, I'm like, well, I've already beaten this game, so we'll rewind it. So we'll rewind it and play it again. And I really like rewinding the roller coaster levels because we were like, oh, we felt go back up on the rail. So
Now, okay, so I used to rent it for our Super Nintendo. And when they released the Game Boy Advance ports of the Donkey Kong Country games, I have 2 and 3. 2 and 3 are my favorite ones because of Dixie Kong. With her, I mean,
Yep.
she's cool. And as a little girl, it was cool to see another female character that I could play as, especially with her ponytail. That's so cool.
It's funny you say that because Grace saw us playing, and she's like, "Who's that?" And I'm like, "That's Dixie Kong." And she goes, "I love her hair." And she's spinning around. She's spinning her head like this, and I'm like, yeah, and she really enjoyed it. And I know that she picks up on the female characters while I'm playing a game a lot, and I think that's really good. As a kid, I don't think me personally, I wouldn't have thought that. Like being a female and associating with that is, I think, very important. For girls.
It's good representation. It makes you feel seen.
Yeah.
And I actually I was obsessed with wearing my hair in a ponytail because Dixie Kong had her hair in a ponytail. So I'd get my mom to every day put my hair in a ponytail just because I admired her. It was just so cool. But they slightly changed the music in those GBA ports. Did you ever have them?
I actually have 2 behind me, I think, but I never played it because I just inherited it 2 years ago. I inherited a bunch of Game Boy games and Game Boy Advance games, and I've never played some of them. So
they for 2 and 3 for sure the music changes a little bit, and I know for 3 they changed some of the enemies. I don't know if you played 3 a lot.
Well, I played on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah. It's if anybody else is listening and you know what I'm talking about, please let me know. I'm not losing my mind. But the roller coaster level, when you said that, I think it's kind of like this. The original song is kind of disco-y with fireworks going off in the background.
Exactly.
And I think it's different for the GBA soundtrack.
I'm wondering if the system couldn't handle as many sound bites storage wise. Maybe they had to switch it out with different music. I could be totally off, but maybe that's the reason. I know I should just say my degree, I have a associate's degree in multimedia, and I have a bachelor's in digital entertainment game design. So we had classes where you try to reduce the packages when you put them in, but sometimes different wavelengths require more save data, and maybe it's probably something along those lines, or maybe someone who wrote that particular music didn't get the rights anymore to it, or something along those lines.
I'm gonna look it up because I'm gonna look up differences between Super Nintendo and GBA Donkey Kong games, because
maybe when they made it, they're like, well, we have to make it different, so we're gonna change something about it.
I got so excited when they started porting some of my favorite childhood games to the Game Boy Advance, because this is before I don't want to say pirating.
Okay.
before that.
Oh, okay. I don't think any less of you, Celeste.
Well, it was before that was before you realized there are ways with your Raspberry Pi.
Before you were gleeping things.
Or before emulators online, or just those kinds of things. And they weren't, or virtual console, that too. Sure. This was before we had the ability to, it was the biggest deal to me when Earthbound was added to the virtual console for the Wii U.
Yeah.
I
was finally surprised, actually.
Yeah. Did you ever play that one?
Yeah. I bought it. I played through it for a little bit. I've actually never beaten it, but that's one on my list that I actually would like to beat, because a lot of people talk about it all the time, and I just, some of the older games, it's like past my time to play it, and I really want to go back and play it, like Majora's Mask. I want to play it, but well, one of these days I will do that. So.
I think Majora's Mask. So aside from the time, I know you said that was a big deal for you. Was what turned you off, was that you have 3 days.
Yeah.
If you can get past that aspect, I think especially now that you're older and wiser, the messages might hit home a little bit more. I'm getting a little teary-eyed when I think about what some of the masks represent, and these different characters. You can actually, this is not a spoiler.
I want to indulge in the story, but the mechanics are... Right now, the mechanics aren't the issue. The issue is me using my original 3DS with no joystick extra nub to turn the camera. So when I'm playing it, it's just so hard to play the dungeon because I can't see where I want to see unless I'm turning around, and the camera has to shift all the way around. And so when I'm trying to fight something or I'm trying to fight an enemy, it just takes too long. So.
That would be a pain. And I've played it only on the Nintendo 64. I haven't tried the 3DS version yet. But this is not a spoiler, but when you do play it, whenever you get a mask, you can actually go to the Happy Mask salesman, put it on, and he'll give you a little information about it. This mask symbolizes this mask symbolizes that. And I really liked that. It made the game deeper, especially as you get older, and just you have different types of people in your life, different memories and stuff. I don't know, it's sweet.
I'm looking forward to actually playing it. I just either have to get a newer 3DS, and I know people say you can get the attachment for the old one, that you can have that, but I'd rather just have a new 3DS, because my one that I bought day one in 2011 is pretty old. So.
I wonder if you'd be able to find some at Walmart's right now. Possibly.
Every time I go there, I only see the 2D ones, and I'm fine with getting one, but I would like to get the XL new 3DS, but.
3DS.
Sometimes you just can't be picky and just gotta get what you gotta get.
Well, we like to hunt at pawn shops and different stores like that. So if we see one, we will keep you in mind. I know they're kind of hard to find, but we've seen some different types of DSs and 3DSs here and there. It's luck, pure luck.
I didn't even see any at GameStop the last time I was there, so.
Wow.
I don't know if it's just because people aren't going in to trade things now because of the pandemic, or it's just maybe they're low on stock and everyone's buying it online and it's going right from their warehouse. I don't know.
I'm interested to see how much longer GameStop's going to make it.
Yeah, they're closing another 300 to 400 stores, I believe, by the end of the first quarter next year, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I think there's only 5,000 something GameStops, so that's a big percentage. So
Man, that's the end of an era.
I know. That's just like Toys R Us. I worked at there, and um, that's closed. I worked at Radio Shack. That's closed. The Staples that I worked at is closing October 16th. So all my
Oh,
stores are leaving me.
now are Staples closing, or is it just some of them?
I think just some of them. Wisconsin, I think, is only keeping three Staples. So, which is sad.
Wow.
Three Staples plus the distribution center for the truck that goes around and delivers all the paper and pens and stuff. So,
I guess they can't compete with Office Depot.
problem. Well, I don't know if that's the issue or not. I know when I worked there, Staples actually was number two selling online after Amazon because we would be able to, if you came in and you asked for something like off the wall, we could probably find it for you and order it through our Staples website. Or if it's not on there, then you could actually, we could put a request in and find a partner that would have it and then ship it to the store or to the customer. So,
That is cool.
yeah. So I don't know if that's the case now. It's been 6 years since I worked there. So,
You know, with a lot of companies going remote, like my company is going permanently remote. They're selling our large building and we're going to move into a smaller building, but we're going to have to meet just like 2 times a month with our department. It's not going to be a fully functioning, the whole headquarters. So I'm wondering if those kind of stores will be okay as more companies.
yeah.
There's buildings.
I know personally my work, I couldn't work remotely. Most of my work is hands-on data collection, regression testing. So I have to be there to build fixtures and test and collect data for engineers. So,
Oh yeah. Do you think do you prefer being in a building, or you think you'd?
I think so. Um, I think I don't know how it is for you, but for me, if I had to work from home, it's very hard with having Grace here.
Oh
With my wife's,
yeah.
it's kind of it's a little distracting, but I have windows on this door to my office and it doesn't lock, so she can see me and she'll come in and I know I'll be working and I'll be like I can't sorry.
I
So
can't talk to you right now.
so
Yeah, that if
uh,
I had young children, I think that would be a big obstacle.
yeah, because I did like 2 days or 1 or 2 days I did online Excel training at home. And I brought my laptop home and everything. And my daughter was just sitting out the window, knocking on the window while I'm trying to listen to the online teacher. And I'm like, I'm sorry. And she'll try to open the door, and then my wife has to take her away, and then she'll come back later again. So
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I
that would
and I
be
can't. It's
challenging.
hard. So
That would be challenging. It definitely depends on your environment. It depends on the type of work you
yeah.
do. I personally really like it because I had a 40-minute commute. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah, so
So when
just
I started, yeah, I lived in Fond du Lac when I got a temp job here at the job I'm at, and I had to drive an hour and 15 minutes there, an
whoa.
hour and 15 back. So I'd be getting up. So originally I'd get there at 6 for my temp job, so I'd have to be up at 4 and be out by 4:45 and get here on time. And then my commute back, I'd work till 2:30, so I wouldn't get back till almost 4. And then, eat, go to bed, and start over.
Exhausted.
So I did that for, would have been May to October. So it wasn't too long, but it was long enough where I was tired. And so then I finally I moved up here to Manitowoc. I moved up here and I got hired 5 months later, full
Wow.
time. So
how long is your commute now?
10 minutes, maybe
Oh,
less.
okay. That's not so bad. That's not
Uh,
bad at all.
I have to get out of bed, and 10 minutes is a long time.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, especially really early. I have to start work at 7, but we get half day Fridays.
That's awesome. So
That
I
does help.
I work 5 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and Friday is off for me. But I've worked overtime every single Friday this year, except for today's Saturday.
Wow.
Either if I was on furlough or if I took vacation. But other than that, I work every Friday. I have meetings on Friday, and they expect me to be there, and so I'm there. So
Extra money is always a nice thing.
it is, and student loans are expensive, so you got to pay those
Oh,
off. So,
it'll happen one day, don't worry.
yeah, I know the lights at the end of the tunnel in about 8 years. So for me, but I was a couple years ago. It was ridiculous on what they wanted me to pay. I think it was
Wow.
almost $1,100 a month. They wanted me to
What?
pay back. Yeah,
Is that how much student loans cost?
I guess so. They wanted me to pay 1,100 back a month, and I'm like, I can't do that. So I had to like consolidate and go through a bank, and now the payments are still sizable, but it's not more than my house payment. So
Yeah, $1,100. That's a house note and then some in a lot
yep,
of cases.
yep,
Jeez.
yeah,
I don't know how people like how can you live, you know?
yeah.
Like
I get it. I made that choice. I made the choice to go to college and get a degree. Um, I do wish that they would have in high school or the first couple classes of college on how to maintain your loans, what they mean, uh, what affects it, what they expect to pay back. I just wish they had those kind of classes to tell you this is how it's going to be. If you're still interested in doing this, or if you want to change your degree or how you want to do it, this is the time to do it. So
yeah, it's really daunting to think that at 18, 17, 18 years old,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
making really life-altering decisions that you don't fully comprehend. And
and
I've thought the same thing you've thought, Shane. Like we need financial literacy classes because you can't not everybody is fortunate enough to have parents who are financially literate or who
yes,
are or who care or who understand whatever or even have parents. But
yeah,
I also wonder at that age, do people care? Some do, some are mature. I guess I just wonder, like, because I've thought the same thing, but I'm also thinking as a 30 something.
yeah. And I know like being the oldest of six kids, I was the first experiment for my parents to go through college,
Yeah.
and being 5 years older than my next sibling, that also caused me to have more to pay back because the more kids that are in, the lower the payments are for taxes and stuff for everybody. And you kind of get more grants and stuff like that based on how many kids are in.
Mm.
So I didn't get a good hand. I didn't have the luck back then as I do now.
But it looks like you've made a very good life for yourself, Shane.
Yes, I've enjoyed the path that I have taken. Um, I don't know. I always think of this uh, like I had this uh, class in college. I wasn't very good at speaking, so I took a public speaking class, and I just that class changed everything for me. Talking and coming out of my shell and stuff like that. And um, I don't know. You ever hear that like PBS quote or that what is it, the PBS crayons uh, story? You ever hear that?
Don't tell me that.
So when I did a commencement speech as our last one, and I used this story that I saw on PBS when I was little, and I think it goes, I what was it? I walked into the toy store a day before today, and I overheard a crayon box with many things to say. I don't like red, said yellow, and green said nor do I. And no one here likes orange, but no one knows just why. So I bought that box of crayons and took it home with me and drew with all the colors so the crayons could all see that each of us is special and everyone unique, and it's when we get together that the picture is complete. And that whole thing kind of set me off. Like, there's so many people in the world. We need to get along, and that it kind of brings it together for me. So
That's beautiful.
yeah, you should look it up. It was like on PBS, and it was like a hand drawn, like cartoon side scrolling thing, and they said this poem, and I memorized it. It was weird because I'm not very good at memorizing things, but I memorized that one.
Oh, it's beautiful. And
Yeah.
you're so right. Everybody, this is, we all have bad days, right? We all have
Oh,
days where we're
sure.
snippy, whatever. But I try to think you never know what somebody's going through.
Yeah.
You don't know, did they just receive devastating news? Did they just lose somebody? Did something happen to their house, their car, just anything, a setback? Just it's not hard to be nice. I know some days it's hard to face the world, but mm, strangers especially,
Yeah.
they don't
Yeah.
deserve to be punching bags.
Yes, for
And
sure.
oh, we should all be more like that
Oh yeah.
crayon box and come together
I
because
look it up. It was pretty. I
I
always stuck.
will.
It's just
I love
something
that.
I always think of when I see things like what's going on in the world today, and I just think of that, and I'm like, why can't we just all play Zelda? You know?
That would be amazing. It kind of reminds me of that quote, every person is smart, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it's going to spend its whole life thinking that it's stupid.
Uh,
I think Einstein said that. I could be wrong. I'm not, you know how these quote things are.
yeah.
Sometimes they're attributed to the wrong person, but
Sure.
that's something I think about too, because there are some things I'm not very good at or interested in, and there are people who are interested in those things, but that doesn't make either one of us less valid.
Yeah, for sure.
We all have our own strengths and we should use them for good, like that
Yeah.
crayon box to make some pretty rainbows. Well, Shane, this is something I ask all the time. What are
Yeah,
some of your
I know.
favorite snacks?
Okay, so I
You
narrowed it
can
down
ready.
to four. I really like sushi. It doesn't matter what kind. I pretty much enjoy any sushi. There's a favorite up in it's called Door County. It's pretty much the little peninsula that goes out into the water up by Green Bay there.
Hmm.
Um, and it's called Crate. They have a roll called Krabby Bees, and it is crab meat with the rice dipped in tempura, dipped in honey, and it is like fried, and it's so good.
That
It's
sounds
warm. It's
phenomenal.
delicious. So I always think of that as one of my top tier sushis. Also, my grandma was Okinawan, so she used to make me sushi and all of our family, and so I kind of I learned how to make it myself. So it's of course it's not as good as my grandma's, but uh, I like to make it once in a while, and it's so enjoyable to pick just ingredients that you're either familiar with or something new, and just cook. So that's number one. Number two is skillets. I like any kind of breakfast skillet.
Ooh.
I like making skillets, and pretty much anytime I go out, it'll be a skillet I order, regardless of the time of day. If they have one, I will probably buy one. So,
Nice.
and then uh, Special K is my favorite cereal. It's plain. A lot of people are like, "Why do you like Special K?" They have like these sugary ones that you can eat. But I always like Special K, and I remember in college, I had a backpack that was actually a skateboarding backpack, but I've never skateboarded. I also had a T-shirt that said "Skateboarding isn't a crime," even though I didn't skateboard. Besides playing Tony Hawk, but the backpack was just perfect for a box of Special K. So I just reach behind me, grab the Special K out, and eat it during class or between classes. So that was my snack for the day.
Oh, awesome.
And then the last one, actually, my mom introduced me to. She had this in college, and she would do cottage cheese and ranch Doritos, and it is delicious. You
Like
dip
you
the
did
ranch,
it?
yep, in the cottage cheese, and you eat it. Now, a lot. One of my best friends, he likes nacho cheese. He'll eat it with that. I also enjoy that. I think it's the sweet chili Doritos, the purple bag.
Uh-huh.
That is really good because it's got heat to it. So you dip it in the cold cottage cheese, and it kind of counterbalances it, and it just tastes so good. But ranch Doritos is my favorite when it comes to those. I guess choice of Dorito. So
Those are good. Those are
I
so
recommend it. If you like cottage cheese,
Uh-huh.
dip it. Even if you don't like cottage cheese, I've had friends who don't like cottage cheese and will now eat it because of the Doritos. So
That sounds delicious, actually. Like a nice combination of savory with that creaminess of cottage cheese, because I love cottage cheese.
yep.
Oh, thank you for letting me know about these different foods because
Yeah.
they sound awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Shane, is there anything else you'd like to share with listeners today?
Oh, I don't know. If I guess if you like Zelda, follow Another Zelda Podcast. Follow me. Follow Celeste. Uh, I like talking to new people, especially when they share common interests. And if you don't have a common interest, let's make one. So
I like that attitude. I wish more people were like that. Where can people find you if they want to follow you?
pretty much on Twitter at Still Sane Shane. And then, of course, articles on Another Zelda Podcast and the podcast as well. Hopefully, in the near future, we will have T-shirts and other things to sell and wear and enjoy. And I know we'll hopefully have some more good episodes coming out and articles. So
I know. I'm really excited for the collab one in December.
me too.
I'm so excited.
I don't think I'll pick the temple though. That's not a
No, not like that. No, we're doing our favorite like where we'd want to go on vacation, and that would be a depressing vacation.
Yeah, I could sleep in a pew somewhere in the church.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, maybe the young Link version of the Temple of Time when it's more serene.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for listening to this 1v1 with Shane Kelley. Shane, I know I've talked with you a few times over the years and more as we've all become friends, but thank you so much for taking the time out of your evening to share your story and let people get to know you.
Absolutely. Thank you. I really enjoyed this and it was fun.
It was fun. I love it. I wish I could do this full time, like every day for 8 hours. Well, guys, you can find us at Boss Rush Games wherever you listen to podcasts, bossrushgames.com, Boss Rush Games on Twitter. And until next time, see you later. Bye, guys.
See you guys.